Narratives and discussions may cover heavy content. For more information and disclaimers, please visit narrativesandnightcaps.com and take care while listening.
Welcome to Narratives and Nightcaps, books, beverages, and author conversations. I'm Bree, always ready to dive into new fantasy worlds and take a step back in time.
I'm Megan, part critic, always team physical copy, and forever chasing good thrillers and a great plot twist.
I'm Emily, your resident mood reader who thrives on chaos questions and lively book chats.
And I'm Jordan, equal parts heart, humor, and high-functioning caffeine addict. I come with coffee in hand, wine on standby, and a Gilmore Girls quote for every occasion.
Cheers!
Cheers!
Welcome back to Narratives and Nightcaps. Today we're diving back into the romance genre with acclaimed author Claire Kann, whose pen has crafted love stories that have captured hearts of all ages. Her latest contemporary romance, The Marriage Narrative, is infused with the drama of reality TV and whether a marriage of arrangement can survive the script and maybe become something more. Hi, Claire.
Hello, how are you?
You know what? I'm doing well. How are you? It's been just a weird week, but I'm good. I'm excited to be talking to you.
You know, I'm pretty much the same. It's been a weird year, honestly, so far.
Yes.
And I'm just hanging in there, but I'm happy to be here and to talk all things bookish today.
Right. I mean, that's, I hope that people that listen and watch feel the same way, because in the chaos of personal lives, world, all of that, like, if this can just be a bright mini escape for people to talk about fun things, bookish, reality TV in this instance, then, like, I hope that it's just a fun escape, because I know it definitely feels that way for me when life either feels busy or very heavy or just weird.
Love that. Absolutely agree.
Well, before we get into it, I would love to kick off the episode with what's in our glass. So what nightcap pairing do you have for us today?
So I thought about this a little bit. I'm going to say coffee, because one, Jordan in The Marriage Narrative does own a coffee shop, but also I am a low-key caffeine addict. Like, I need it to function first thing in the morning, which is very millennial. I know, hear me out, hold on. But it's more so, it's like the ritual of it. It's like, because I write first thing in the morning, so when I wake up, is it a nightcap? No, it's a morning thing. But I wake up first thing in the morning, I handle my usual business, and then straight to the kitchen to get a cup of coffee, sit down, write my words. And so I can't write a book without starting my day that way. So it fueled The Marriage Narrative. It fuels all my narratives going forward. I have to have my coffee. But make it a nightcap also. I didn't mean to cut you off. I will say that I am like one of those people where caffeine does not actually wake me up. I can have coffee right before bed and go straight to sleep. It's not an issue.
Same. And I don't know what that says about us, if there's like an underlying issue there, but I'm the same way in that I could have it as a nightcap, I'll go to bed. I could have coffee on a Saturday afternoon and then take a nap.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It doesn't affect me.
Not even a little bit. It's like, it's just the pleasure of coffee, I think, is what gets me going.
Right, and I say it doesn't affect me, but it does to an extent, because I'm the same way. In the morning, I have to have it to get my day going. But then the rest of the day, it's not going to keep me from my 8 p.m. bedtime. That's for sure.
I also have 8 p.m. bedtime. Oh my gosh. I was like lamenting to my friend because, the time change has taken place, and now the sun is still up when I go to bed, and I'm like, I can't handle this. I'm not shifting my bedtime. So it's like blackout curtains. Don't call me. Do not disturb. It's 8 o'clock. I'm going to bed. I don't care.
Same. I'm exactly the same. It was an episode that just came out when we were talking about it. I was like, people are always like, oh, I'm a morning person, I'm a night person, and I'm like, I'm neither. I'm a day person. Like, I'm catch me from like 8 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
9 to 6, but like after that, I don't know what to tell you. Well, really quick, how do you take your coffee typically?
I love my homemade flat whites. So 6 ounces of milk, oat milk in my case, half a teaspoon of brown sugar, and just like half a teaspoon of syrup. Good to go. Blend together. Love it.
That sounds perfect. We're gonna wrap up, and I'm gonna have to go make a cup of coffee. Okay, well, I would love to just get to know you a little bit more. So first, and this is a hard question. It's a hard question for me. I feel like it's a hard question for any reader. But do you have like an all-time favorite book?
Yes. It comes with a caveat. So, like, it's my all-time favorite series, and so I love his Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, and so my favorite book is The Amber Spyglass. So I can't recommend you go read that one without reading the rest of the trilogy, but like I love, love, love The Amber Spyglass. The
Well,
Amber Spyglass.
words.
What are they?
I honestly don't know most days, and somehow have had a podcast in its fourth year. And um, what was your most recent read that you couldn't put down?
Ooh. This has been really hard lately because my attention span is absolutely shot. So if I put it down or my mind starts to wander, I'm never picking it back up again. I will say the last time where I felt the absolute compulsion to continue reading was The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I think that's how you say her last name. I apologize if it's not. I devoured that book, and I'm not a high fantasy person. I feel like I always joke that like I don't have enough imagination, and I'm like too stupid for fantasy. But I loved it. I got it from the library. I had an ebook, and then my hold ran out. Took myself to Barnes and Noble, got the $20 paperback, and just sat on my couch, plopped it open, and just devoured it. It took me a couple days, but I that would be the one that I just absolutely could not put down.
That's amazing. I mean, when you find that one that just consumes you like that, it's such a good feeling. I'll have to put that one on my TBR because I do like fantasy, and I also don't feel smart enough for it, but sometimes I'm like, I'm here for the vibes. I don't I had one time, this was a while back, but one of my co-hosts and I, we were reading a high fantasy series, and we're reading at the same time, and we're texting, and she's like, I'm not understanding the magic system, and I go, I'm not either, but I'm here for the vibes. I figure I'll maybe understand it as we go. um, okay, if you could have a random question, if you could have a drink with anyone from history, who would it be? Who would you have coffee with?
This question is also really tough because it's like my instinct is to go with a celebrity, but I know if I could have a drink with anybody in history, it's gonna be my dad. I'm gonna bring that man back from the dead, and we're gonna sit down and have some coffee. Even though he doesn't drink coffee, I'll get him some decaf. It's okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have to have coffee. We know
Yeah.
that you need it, but he can have whatever. So he can have decaf, he could have a tea if that was his jam. So no, I mean there are no rules to that. I think when I think about that question too, like I think I would want to bring back my grandma ultimately, even just for a coffee date to, because there are so many things I would love to ask her now that I wish I'd asked, or things that I wish I'd said.
Yes.
So yeah, bringing back a family, who wouldn't, even if it's just for that one coffee date, 100%.
And I don't know what that says about me that like my dad is the most important person in my history, But he did die before like I was like a full-fledged adult, and so I'm like I have so many questions for you, Dad. We need to talk. I have to do this. If I ever get a wish, that's it. That's my
That's
answer.
it. That is it. What is your guilty pleasure reality TV show?
Ooh, okay, so confession time. I don't actually watch reality TV anymore.
Claire, okay. One, I'm so surprised, but two, what did you watch then if you used to?
So I am a very old lady, and so I grew up when reality TV was really finding its footing. So, I mean, the Osbournes, old, when their actual house was fitted out with cameras to get started, like The Real World, The Road Rules, like those kind of shows on MTV. So like that, when I think of reality TV, that's my reality TV, and it's just not like that anymore. So I haven't really found anything that I enjoy as much as I did. But then again, I was also like a small child. So is anything ever as good as when you first watched it when you were a child and the world was new? Probably not.
The nostalgia of some of those shows, yeah, I feel like whether or not you go back and you watch them now present and you think, oh, this doesn't hold up today, it is just that initial feeling from childhood of watching those. Okay, I will say, I was fully prepared for you to convince me to dive into some reality TV show, because I too I'm not much of a reality TV person. I used to watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, but we're talking like initial seasons, like very first. Yeah, so like, what is it, Ryan and Trisha were like the very first, like I'm talking early days of that. Laguna Beach, did watch that. I honestly don't know what else.
Yeah, Laguna Beach. I'd also watched that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about, but I wasn't ever too much. But the MTV shows, I don't know that they're classified as like reality TV show, and they were honestly horrible. But like, do you remember Next? What isn't that like the bus show?
The bus.
That one, or Room Raiders. Watched that one too. I think those, now you're just sending me down this old path of like, what did I watch on MTV that wouldn't stand today?
And I think that's actually, I would count it as a reality TV dating show, definitely. Because I think it was like a prototype of what it could be. And everyone kind of took notes from that and how successful it was, and then just like extrapolated it to like a bigger audience.
So true. Because as of recently, the only like today reality TV show is I watched one season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives because people couldn't stop talking about it. But I watched one season, and that was it for me.
No thanks. I tried to no thank you.
Okay, but if you could be a contestant on any reality TV show, which one would you be on?
I would probably want to be on one that, like, 'cause, like, you have to accept that, like, you know, at some point there are going to be sections that are going to be scripted, right? So how you appear is completely out of your control, thanks to editing. And so I would definitely want to be on one that's more like game show oriented. And I'm not going to say Naked and Afraid, because I would never do that, but that's what's coming to mind, where it's like there is a goal at the end. There's like the Amazing Race kind of thing, where like where a lot of what I do on the show is based on my merit, and it would be really hard to turn me into a villain because it's just like me and a partner working together.
Yeah. Well, and what I know about reality TV, I know from Giggly Squad and from Hannah Berner and Paige DeSorbo. And so I know that there's always a villain edit. And so I'm right that whether or not it's like true, and in most cases it's definitely not. So I'm right there with you. Like maybe Survivor, although I feel like there's a lot more opportunity for them to create some sort of script around you. But Amazing Race, yeah, some sort of game element would be fun. Okay, maybe not reality TV, but is there anything you've binge watched lately, or a film you watched recently that you really liked?
The Amazing Digital Circus. It has me. It absolutely has me, and it's not let go. I found it in December, I think. It just was like randomly recommended to me. So it's a 3D animation show about characters trapped in a digital circus, and there's like a ringmaster, and it's just very, I wouldn't say dark, but very like psychologically surreal. I have a fantastic time with it. My favorite, for those who are listening and they are aware of the show, like my favorite character is Kinger, who is represented by like a giant chess piece. So that would be my current obsession, is the Amazing Digital Circus.
Okay, where is this? What platform is this on?
YouTube. It's completely free on YouTube. It's a indie animation studio produces it by the name of Glitch, and their finale, actually, I'm not sure when this airs, but they're releasing the final episode in theaters. So it's gonna be a big deal for them. I'm really excited. I bought a ticket. I will be supporting. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, now you've piqued my interest for sure. I wanna look it up. That's awesome. Okay, before we go any further, because I could just talk to you and ramble off random questions to you this entire time, but I do want to talk all about the marriage narrative. So first, for readers that haven't had a chance yet to dive into this story, what is the marriage narrative about?
So the marriage narrative is about Zinnia, who decides she would love a business partner husband because her best friends are clearly in love with each other, and she's not about that third wheeling life. And she's like, we have to be a quartet. So she does the most extreme thing possible and places an ad. Luckily, the person who answers, his name is Jordan. He owns a series of coffee shops in Northern California, and he needs a wife for his reality show. And so they kind of see there's a mutual benefit to getting together, and they decide to get married. And then everything goes wrong in every way possible. Like, it just does not turn out the way they think it will.
Surprise. It's such like a brilliant and unique idea. Two strangers getting married on a whim, but a very planned whim, because Zinnia she's thought this through entirely. So, and then you incorporate the reality TV element, this big secret that Jordan has. When and how did this idea come to you?
I would say the initial idea came through like a bolt from the blue. Like, I was scrolling through my idea folder trying to find something to work on, because if I'm not working, I feel useless. It's just like a compulsion with me. And I just started like, okay, no ideas are coming to me. I decided to just start typing. And then I heard Zinnia's voice saying the first line in the book, waiting around for true love has gotten me nowhere. And that's why this year I'm going to marry a stranger. And I changed it a little bit in the final cut version, but it was that, like, very clearly that, like, this was going to be a self-arranged marriage. It was because her best friends were in love and she needed to find a partner so she could keep up with them. And it changed a little bit from that initial premise once I pitched it to my editor, because in my first version, Jordan and Zinnia were friends, and so it wasn't completely random. And then my editor had the idea, it's like, well, what if they were complete strangers? And I said, you're on to something, hold on. And so that's how they no longer knew each other. But yeah, it was very, very fast. And like, once I decided it was going to be fake marriage, but it's not really fake marriage, I did my due diligence and I did my research, and I wanted to see what was currently being published and what had been published around reality TV shows and fake marriages, or mutual arranged marriages. And I just wanted to do something a little different. I just wanted to kind of put a queer angle on it. It's like, okay, well, what if you just wanted a platonic partnership? And that was like the extent of what you thought it was going to be. And then you enter the relationship and it just kind of throws everything into turmoil. And like, then I find like those are like the best books. It's like the ones where the characters go on a journey that they didn't think they were going on. But I do joke that like Zinnia is the same person at the start of the book and at the end of the book. She does not change. Like, she just opens her heart a little bit, but like, she is the same person. So
yeah, she immediately, she just like captured me from the get-go. Even with her pitch, I was like, okay, this is convincing. And even though I'm like, I would never think about that. So then, if this is taking place in your actual life, on that note, are you more like Zinnia and you're the one presenting this, crazy idea to your friends? Or are you Fiona and Grace, who initially are like, Zinnia, what are you doing? And almost try to dissuade her at first, but they know her and her heart and her core and where she stands. But which side do you think you'd be on in real life?
In real life, I'm on Jordan's side, honestly. Like, I just need a little bit of convincing.
Okay.
Like, if you give me a pitch, I'll think about it for 30 seconds. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm very much, I'm in favor of whatever, when I read and even in real life, I'm in favor of whatever the protagonist wants. We are best friends. I want you to be happy. I want what you want. So just very minimal convincing, and I'm like, ride or die, let's do it.
I love it. So you mentioned you did a lot of research. So you have no personal experience with like reality TV development. So what type of research did you do? What did that process look like?
So I did it based on the shows that I had watched. So primarily the Osbournes. So like, they were the first family where their actual home was fitted with cameras, and they just kind of recorded their daily lives, and then scriptwriters came in and put it together in a cohesive narrative. They even have a daughter that wasn't on the show who lived in the cottage. So she was there the whole time in the background. They cut her out. So like I, put a different spin on it where like Jordan physically left his family and, threw in some tension there where how like the kind of problems that it caused. With that distance, but that was really it. And I kind of flash forward a little bit when I was writing the narrative for the twins, who were started the show when they were 10 and they're now, oh no, they started the show when they were 8 and now they're like 18, 19 years old. I really wanted to demonstrate a little bit of the psychological impacts of being on a show like that and what it does to young children. And so I did a lot of research into I guess influencer families, let's just call them that
Sure.
for the time being, like family vloggers, without naming names, because like there's a lot of it going on right now. Like the children have come of age and they're telling their own stories, and so just a lot of those narratives and making the decision to build in as many guardrails as humanly possible. Like their parents did their due diligence to the best of their ability, but still, the kids it still affects them, and just kind of like really leaning into like that warped sense of reality, because that is their life, but it is also reality TV. And so like they're kind of Zinnia comes in trying to exist in like that happy middle of like, how do I do a performance but still be true to myself, because I don't want to be like these people. And so it was tricky. It was definitely tricky, and I just had to make a lot of things up and just trust the reader to just go with me on it.
Oh, but you did. It felt so genuine and so authentic in the way that this story transpired, at least for my reading, and really got me thinking about what it would be like to grow up and the psychological impact that would have. And then too, like Jordan's perspective of sort of, he's not disconnected, he's had this love for his family, but having not been a part of it and now being fully exposed and seeing your siblings and how you're how they're reacting to certain things. Even for him, I was like, the line between what's real and what's fake, even in this reality TV, gets so blurred. And how do you decipher what's real? And then you have that element too with Zinnia and Jordan. It's it felt very, very real. And the second you said the Osbournes, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. But I had no idea that there was another family member living in like cottage nearby.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. That is so interesting. Today, are there any scenes in particular that are your favorites?
Oh, so many.
The whole book.
The whole book, yeah. I would definitely say the night in the cabin where after they had the stage show of doing the drinking, making the drinks.
Yeah.
And they had their first real connecting moment where they decided they were going to be a couple on camera for like 100% into it. I love that scene. I love that scene so much. Another one would be probably the opening, or literally any scene with Grace in it. I loved writing her character, especially when they had the Zoom meeting at breakfast and she got to be like corporate mode. That was really fun.
I love that scene. I just love like the different dynamics between the three of them, and they have this amazing friendship, but they're all uniquely them, and that absolutely comes through. And that scene too, just you could really feel that as a reader that is the moment that Jordan and Zinnia become a team for sure, and like are gonna work together, because Jordan recognizes too like some of the mistakes he's maybe made, but they're really gonna tackle it as a partnership with the reality TV spin. What were some of the challenges you faced with this story? Was it ever a character? Was it anything related to the reality TV or something else?
I think one of the things I struggled with to the very end was giving myself permission for Jordan to not be perfect. Because typically in romance, especially now, the hero must be perfect. Especially if he's a straight man. He has to be perfect. He can do nothing wrong. Cinnamon roll all the way. And I'm like, he is, He is a cinnamon roll. Like someone described him as submissive, and that blew my mind. I'm like, I did not know I was doing that. Um, but he does make a lot of mistakes, like a lot of and like really big mistakes, like especially in the beginning. And I really just had to give myself permission to let that happen and to let Zinnia decide if she was going to forgive him and like how they were going to move forward and how and let him grow and change and be the person that he needs to be for her. um, because I had to just really accept that, I'm not writing self-insert fiction. Jordan is designed for Zinnia. The only person he really needs to appeal to is Zinnia. And I felt like I took a really big risk with that one. It was like a really big swing, and I don't know, maybe in like 10 years people will agree with me, but I know people were a little unhappy with him, and I'm sorry, but we must make creative choices, and that was mine.
Yeah, no, I think that's so well said, and so true. I know a lot of readers want a cinnamon roll, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially in the romance genre specifically. But you also want an element of real and human, and wanting that person to feel human. And anyone is gonna make mistakes and make choices, but then as the author, you have the creative liberty to decide which ones those are. What do you ultimately hope then readers take away from either Zinnia and Jordan separately as characters or their journey together?
So for Zinnia, I would hope they would take away the notion that it's okay to be yourself. You will find what is meant for you. Sometimes you have to be a little aggressive and do some wacky things to get there. You could do it for the plot, but also like if you trust yourself and believe in yourself, and you'll get there eventually. For Jordan, I would say it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to share your feelings, especially if maybe it got a little far into toxic masculinity. It's not too late to come back. There's
It's not.
always going to be room for you on the other side of like humanity, where it's okay to feel all your feelings. And for their journey together, it's okay if happily ever after doesn't look the way you thought it would, because you never know what's for you until you go looking for it, until you are open to receiving it.
Yes. Oh, that's so, so, so true. Um, you started off at the beginning saying that you start a typical day with coffee and you write first thing. So what does your typical day look like overall when you're working on the marriage narrative or anything else?
So I am a ritualistic writer. So I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm sorry, I know it's 4 a.m.
Claire.
Uh, when the time changes, when in the autumn, it is 5. It'll be 5 a.m. But like for right now, it is 4. Um, because I have to get those words in. I wake up, I feed my cats, we have some like bonding time, and then I make my coffee, and then I'm in my chair with my timers, phone on do not disturb for minimum 2 hours. Then I get up, have breakfast, and then another 2 hours, and then I have to mentally check out. I have to put the story away. I have to put close the computer, and then I have to go to work. Otherwise, I will just write through the day until I exhaust myself in the afternoon. So I'm still working on like the detaching, because I do have a full-time job, and they don't really like it if you're kind of spacey at work. They want you to be present and doing what you're doing. That's what they pay you for. Um, but if I can, on breaks, if there's anything that's nagging at me, I'll just like type on notes in my phone, because it's like once I'm fully drafting and engaged, it's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to buy groceries. I don't want to see people. I don't want to talk on the phone. I just want to do this. I want to stay in this world that I'm building, and with these characters. And I've learned now, because I started writing in 2014. It's when I really, really picked up a pen, literally picked up a pen on New Year's Day and a notebook and started going for it. Um, for a long time, I had really poor writing work balance. I gave up a lot, and I mean a lot, to do this. And while I don't regret my decisions, I do regret not finding balance earlier. Um, because now I'm kind of like dealing with the ramifications of like ignoring my needs in favor of writing. So that's kind of just writing, work, more writing if I can hack it. If not, just brain dead watching TV at the end of the day.
Which is okay. And I don't know if this is you, but I struggled for a very long time up till recently with just being okay with that rest. Like if I need to put on a comfort show because my brain has nothing else to give, then that's okay. Like, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to prove to anybody anything or that I'm worthy of that resting time. That's perfectly fine and a part of that balance sometimes. You don't have to share the company, but I'm so curious. What else do you do in addition to your writing? You work full time. What is your other job?
I very vaguely, I'm just gonna say an office worker.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is a public facing company, and like they're aware of what I do. Like they're very, very supportive. They like give me time off so I can like do interviews and like go to book events. And I remember once when my debut came out, I walked into work and there was a mug and a card for me, and like that everybody had signed and like a little personalized picture. And I was like, I can't believe I stumbled onto a team who not only knows that I'm writing, books, but like actually care enough to do this. And like they would tell me like if they saw my books online on like back when BuzzFeed lists were a thing, they would get so excited if they would go to like book fairs and they would see them on the table. They're like, I saw your book. I took pictures. Did you get the pictures I sent you? Like they were checking for me more than I was checking for myself, honestly. And so it's like their names, and the other reason why I don't want to say is I do use their names. Like a lot of their names are like in those books as like little tributes. I have one friend, she appears in the romantic agenda, and as she was reading it, she just kind of slunk into my office and was like, so I don't want to be like presumptuous, but is this me? And I said, yes, it is in fact you. And she was so excited, which is what I would hope. It was just like a little tiny cameo, but she like immediately recognized herself. And I just really love all of the coworkers I've had in the past 10 years. It's been a really great time working there.
You literally gave me chills. It's so wonderful how supportive and how much they're cheering for you too, and know about this. But I wanted to ask too because I think that for not maybe not a lot of people that listen to this podcast at this point, but for many people, they don't necessarily like they think, oh, okay, like successful author has numerous books published. That's probably what she does full time, and then there are so many people that I talk to that this is just one piece of their life.
Mhm.
They often, many of them have another job, either part-time or full-time. It just depends. And sometimes that's by choice, or even like I was reading an article this week, totally not knowing that this was going to come up, but about the realities too of choosing this as a career, and like you said, how much you often have to sacrifice to make this career a reality,
Mhm.
and two, to support yourself, whether it's financially or because you want to, because you like having that balance, which for I don't know the details of it, but in your position, I'm like, oh, she's got such a cool team around her to even step away from that. I don't know if I would want to do that when maybe it helps a lot with that balance too, as hard as it's been to maybe figure that out along the way, which I can absolutely relate to as someone who hit full burnout, and the recovery of that has been very interesting, and not something that has happened in a short period of time. It's been like a multi-year process to fully recover from that. I'm curious, and more so because this actually came up in another conversation recently, and now I like want to pick people's brains about the different ways that they handle it. But I'm sure you've encountered writer's block before. Like you said with the marriage narrative, you were kind of like, I didn't have an idea. I was going through my Rolodex, which like also
Mhm.
tipped them of ideas and things there. So how do you handle either moments of writer's block or like moments of self-doubt when it comes to your writing process?
So I don't experience writer's block. I
Okay.
do get burnt out though. And so just kind of like tie it back a little bit to the previous point. My job, my full-time job funds my writing. Like, yes, I get paid to when a book is published, but not enough to live. And so like I consider myself blessed that I do have a full-time job and I do not have to write on my writing work or rely on my writing work to to basically keep me alive. And so when I do hit burnout, I can just stop. I can just focus on other things and work and healing myself. Because I always have ideas, I always have the will, but sometimes there's no juice. And that's how I phrase it. It's like I'm like a battery. It's like I'm just out of juice. Like if I have a 4 a.m. session, once I hit noon, if I feel like I'm starting to get a little bleary eyed, I'll take a break for an hour. I'll try to get back to it. And it's like, there's no juice. Don't push yourself. There's no point in pushing yourself. You're just going to burn out faster. And so that's what I do. It's just like I am very aware of when it's time to stop, and I allow myself to stop, because there have been times where I would work 18 hours a day to hit a deadline. Like that's literally all I did. I slept in 4-hour bursts to the point where I would wake up at 4 hours on the dot just to get through, a week of deadline. And like I don't recommend that. Don't do that. It's very bad. um, but it's like as I got older, it's just like, what is the point of that? This is not brain surgery. Nobody is going to die if I miss this deadline. Okay, production gets a little backed up. Okay. Nobody died. It's okay. Like it's not like missing a deadline is not the end of the world to me. Like I would like to make them. I do my best to make them. But if I'm not going to, I'm just going to give as much notice as possible, and then it's just going to pass me by. I will not. I've reached the point where like I will not break myself to be an author. I only have so many years left to live, and I've done the bulk of the work that I've wanted to do. Every project I do now or from now on has to be something that I truly believe is worth my time and effort. Like I truly believe that there's someone out there waiting for this. There's someone, like there is a connection in place. Like I'm one of those writers where I'm like, I'm tapped to the zeitgeist. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what narratives needs to go out there. And I can feel it when it's time. And if it's not time, it's just not time. Yeah.
I think that's something really important to realize, whether you're an author or an aspiring author or just any other industry that you work in. It is 100% not worth it to break yourself to accomplish X, Y, Z, and typically, in my case, like for somebody else, and not something that you're absolutely passionate about or loving, anything along those lines. I hope that resonates with somebody, and just thanks for being so honest about it too, because I know for me, I'm like, oh, it's so nice, Claire, to hear you say that, and no, I'm not alone.
Yeah. And for aspiring writers, I do get it. Like I remember viscerally what it's like to feel like you're running out of time. And so you have to write, you have to publish now. Your trend is going to go. You're not going to know what no agents are going to want this in 6 months. Like you do feel that intensity, and it does not relent. Like this is something that you dream about doing. You have to do it, and that urgency will never leave you. And so like I do understand and I do sympathize, and so like, and I know no one's going to take my advice because of that urgency is louder than what I'm telling you, but publishing will be there when you're ready. It's not going anywhere. So your book is off trend, write another book. You have more than one book in you. If you can make it through one book, you can make it through two. If you don't make it on time, then it wasn't your time. Do the next one. Like that. You have the time, you have the will, you've proven it, you've written one, you can do another. It's okay. Live your life. And if writing is all that's a part of your life, you don't have anything else going on, I would suggest go find at least one other thing, please. Like go be a part of the world, go experience the world before it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, well, and find something that fuels you, and
Yeah.
that fills your cup, so that you can maybe turn those experiences and that fullness, for lack of a better word, like into more words, and to help you hone your craft and get better at it, so that when it is your time, you're fully ready to go. Well, with all of that said, and I want to go back, you said so it was 2014 that you picked up a pen.
Hmm.
right? Okay. Um, what has, and well, and now too, now you've written adult romance, you've written YA, you've written a couple of middle grade as well. Can you give me well, whichever version the short, medium, or long version of just what your author journey has really looked like?
Okay, so I didn't grow up knowing I wanted to be an author. I read a lot. I was a reader, and I wrote things here and there that my friends read to the point where when I told them that I was going to pursue publication, they were like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Like nobody was surprised except me. And so I decided to go back to school in my 20s, and I took a creative writing class just to fill general education. I wrote a short story. I turned it in for workshop. Changed my life. That night I knew this is it. I found my thing. I'm going to be a writer, but I can't do like four things at once. I can do school, I can do work, I can have a social life. There was no room to start writing. So I just held off until I graduated. And so I subbed in school for being a writer. And so I graduated in December 2013. I took 2 weeks off. And January 1st, 2014, I started to write. First thing in the morning, me and a notebook, and I wrote a story about a girl who time travels and lives with cavemen just because I didn't know what I was doing and I just wanted to just get the words out. And I had always written, or I had decided that I was going to write towards publication. Like I knew I wanted to be traditionally published. And so as I was writing and learning how to actually write the kind of stories that would become my own, I was reading more and trying to find the authors that I wanted to kind of absorb into my own style, and just researching what it actually took to get published. And so I did that for 2.5 years. And so I started posting my work online. So I posted to Wattpad. And through Wattpad, I found out about Swoon Reads, which was an imprint of Macmillan Publishers. So you would upload your completed young adult romance manuscript to the site. Users could read it, editors would read it, and then they would select 3 to 4 books per season to traditionally published. I got selected in July of 2016, and so it took me 2.5 years to get in, and then I've been doing it ever since. That's kind of it. And
10 years
I
now.
yeah, I just kind of going wherever the wind would take me. Like I said yes to everything. I like anthologies as well, like learning how to write short stories, which was a whole nother journey because it's very different than novel writing. I tried all age groups, so I went from middle grade to adult romance, and I even tried picture books for a little bit. And like it really took me a while to like figure out where I belong. I think I've got it now. And the way I look at the work that I'm doing now as Claire, it is very much I'm retired until a new project, and then I'm unretired. And then I'm going right back into retirement. And so I'm still going to be around, but just not in the same way. Like I've had a lot of revelations and did a lot of work and searching within myself and experimenting with style over these past few months. And like I'm almost ready to talk about what's happening next, but not quite. Or almost there.
Well, whenever that time is, I'm excited to hear all that just because I I know it hasn't been easy just hearing you talk about it, but your story and your vulnerability, you've been sharing all of that and how much work you've put into it too is very inspiring to me and I think can be for other people, provided they hear it and listen. If you need to like hit rewind a couple of times, it's okay. That's totally fine. But it's very inspiring. I guess, how have you seen then, and maybe I'll say the romance genre, but this could expand to publishing, to writing in general, how have you seen everything evolve over the past 10, 12 years in your experience? Because the I mean, just even from my perspective and my viewpoint, like I've seen a lot of shifts and a lot of changes in the landscape. What have you seen or experienced, and where do you think we're going?
I don't know where it's going. I can say that wholeheartedly because it's moving so fast now. Because publishing is historically very, very slow. They're very, very slow to change. But I would say with COVID and the way that short form content and TikTok kind of just exploded onto the scene, it changed a lot of things very fast. Um, one direction I'd hate to see it going is authors having to have platforms in order to get a deal. Like you must have like, 50,000 followers or more in order to get into the door, which I think is a mistake. Because some people are just not made for the internet. Some people don't have the personality, but they have the writing chops to give the people what they need. Like they are going to be the next big thing with the readership, but they need publishing support to get there because they can't do it themselves. I think that's why we've seen so many people who are good at marketing have the form that they do. Like they always wanted to be a writer, but they just happen to also be good at marketing. Or they went to school for like communications or graphic design. It's like you have to have like two talents. You can't just be a writer anymore. You have to have a secondary talent to help you get your foot in the door. And I feel like that should be a bonus and not a requirement, you know?
Yes.
So I do see that continuing to happen. Like a lot of things will be shifted to the author to have to do, and you just kind of have to, at this time, make your peace with it. I think I've chosen what my piece is, and it's just like I'm not going to be a part of the internet. I'm not doing that. Not because I don't have the personality, but just because I have no desire for my image to be fed into AI at this point. Same for my voice. Like even just putting my voice on the internet is just really hard for me when I think of the way things are scraped.
Claire,
So
I'm like honored you wanted to come on this show and also a little bit nervous. I'm like,
yeah, it's very rare for me. It's very, very rare. Like this is my the second one I've done. I did a book club earlier this year, and now I'm doing this, and it's like very rarely will people see me, and it's going to stay that way. So if I say yes, you're very special.
oh, you're gonna like kind of make me cry because no, I just like I truly I'm honored and I'm so that you one like wanted to share this story with us and then two wanted to talk with me more about it and allow our little platform to like hopefully connect your book and you even your story just through our episodes with other readers too. I'm like that just is it's so kind and I don't even know I'll stop there because I'm just honored and I will actually cry.
Yeah, I usually only pop up when I have something to say. And when I went through your episodes, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a good conversation. It's not going to be prescriptive. So, what is your favorite color? What does this mean? What does that mean? What does this mean? What is this? What's that? What's like, let's just talk about the book. I'm like, well, no, let's talk about us. Let's talk about the larger context. And like, I really felt like this would be a good place to do that because I love to yap. I actually really enjoy talking to people, which is why I will selectively do in-person events because I call my table the chill table at my events. Like anybody can come. You don't have to have read my books. I don't have to sign anything. Just come talk to me. You want to talk about publishing? Let's do it. You want to talk about social media? Let's do it. Like you want to talk about like how to write a book? Let's do it. Like I love talking to people. And I just find that only certain outlets really let you do that and like see you as a real person, like and not a product. And so that's like another hang up that I have. It's like I am a person with a personality, with a skill set. But I am also a yapper, so let's yap.
Well, and that's one thing too where I'm always like with the podcast, I'm like, we could literally go in any direction, just so you know, and nothing's off the table. I'm like, do you want to talk about Brussels sprouts? I'll happily talk about Brussels sprouts. Do you like? I'm like, where do you want to go? Do you want to talk about travel? Let's talk about travel. Like, it just goes in so many different directions because I think that's like, at least what I hope continues. I hope we don't lose is that sense of community with and just being able to talk to different people about who they are as a person because behind all of the books that we love that come out into the world is just a real person and I'm like if I get 45 minutes to tap into who that real person is and what brings them joy, what trials and challenges they've overcome, like I think that it can touch at least one person out there, and either they're inspired by their story or they want to pick up their book, and hopefully that book brings them a little bit of joy too, and is a little bit of an escape, or they see themselves in that story too, because there's so many different reasons to read. So, well, I'm never gonna forget that you said that and that you wanted to do all of that. So I guess to kind of like round us out a little bit with what we've been talking about, what fills your cup lately?
I would just this might sound a little strange. I would say it's quiet. Just being able to sit in quiet and being able to think and hear my own thoughts and feel my own feelings. Because when I'm writing, I'm like seven different people at once. Like, I'm the director, I am the choreographer, I'm playing all the parts. Like, it's all filtering through me, and sometimes it's very easy to get lost in the sauce. And so when I'm able to just sit in quiet when all the juice is gone, and I just remember myself and the things that I want to say and the things that I want to infuse into the story, that like gets me ready for the next day and like makes me want to continue writing the story. And like when I can't have those moments, when I can't connect with myself, that's when the work suffers the most. Secondary to that, I would say definitely shows that are unexpected, because I'm very old and my eyes get tired. So reading physical books it's getting harder for me as I age. And so I love listening to audiobooks. It still keeps me engaged with the written word. Like, if like the right narrator with the right prose can make me want to pick up the book so I can see it on a sentence level, and kind of just like go through and just squint my way through it. But also like certain TV shows that are like very innovative, like Severance. Severance was a really big one for me. The Amazing Digital Circus is another one these shows that just come out of left field with like from independent thinkers and independent studios who are really trying to push the envelope and do something new. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with watching the same media over and like engaging with the same tropes and always having that safe, comforting reading experience. Like, I do see the appeal in that. But for me as a creative, I need to see other people taking risks because it gives me permission to take those risks as well.
That's so well put. I couldn't have anything better to like add on top of that. I think it's okay to like give yourself permission to go in cycles, because I've definitely been in those phases where I need the comfort of whether it's a certain genre and I know what to expect, or even rereading the same books because I'm in a headspace where I need that. But similarly, like, I love seeing new stories, new formats that are creative and are risk taking, because like you said, it gives you permission too, but then it also gets, at least me, it gets me thinking outside of the box too, for where my own thoughts are. And okay, well, if they took that risk, then I could definitely take a risk in doing this. So I know it can be hard, but I would definitely encourage people to do that too. Like, branch outside of your comfort zone, because I think there's always something to learn from that. Even, I mean, my husband and I, we have overlap. Like, some things we're the same on, but then there are certain forms of media or storytelling where we definitely differ. But I know there was one recently. He was like, "Hey, I really want to see this film in theaters," and I was like, "That is not my jam. That one's not for me." But I was like, "But you know what? Like, okay, let's go." And we were walking away from it and talking a bit about it. And is it a movie that I would tell everybody, be like, yeah, run, go see it? But I walked away and I was like, well, this was really interesting. This was unique. I'd never seen anything like this. And I was like, I'm really impressed with the way that they told that story. Like, it's just got my mind thinking about the different ways a story can be told. It was unique. It was something different. And I think there's so much value in still doing that and not always being stuck in a hole that is the exact same.
I definitely agree. It's like, even if it's something that I didn't like, if I can feel that the execution, like there's passion in execution. If I start trying to visualize how this could be transported like into a book, because like writing and like novels in particular are like my creative medium. If I start thinking about how can I put this in a book, it's a winner. I might not never recommend it to another person, but it's a winner for me personally. Like it tapped into something, and like you won't know if you don't go. You won't know if you don't go. Gotta go to
100. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. It can be scary, but you have to. Well, so you don't need to share it now, but I know you said like you're reaching a point potentially going to share for readers, listeners that are interested in keeping up with you. Where can they go for your next announcement, any news?
So definitely still Instagram, like at Claire, so last name then my first name. Um, I just, as much as I want to let it go, I cannot get out of Instagram's clutches. It truly has me. Like I deleted my TikTok, even like my private accounts. I don't use TikTok at all anymore. Um, no Twitter, no Threads, nothing. I'm like completely off the internet, but not Instagram. Instagram. I do also have like an old school blog. So it's conclaire.com, WordPress old school blog. I tried Substack and I'm like, I'm just going to go back to the what I know and the thing that I love the most. Because I think the thing with Substack is like there's just this push to monetize and to be seen. And, you have enough subscribers, you can get a book deal. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that. I just want to shout into the void. And if people want to find it, they can find it. It's there if you're looking for it. So definitely, like, my website is Claire Kann, but my social site is conclaire.com. So I have both. And then Instagram, of course. So if I have anything worth sharing, it would be in one of those three places.
Well, I will definitely link to those in the podcast notes, and I will be following just whenever the time is right, because I'll be looking forward to it. I'll be excited for you, but just on your own timeline. Nobody else's agenda or anything like that. But I definitely look forward to that day, and I know someone else's too. So Claire, thank you so much for sharing your passion with us, but just honestly, like your honest approach to your craft, your style, and who you are and how you bring such unique stories to life. I'm truly, truly honored that you wanted to share that here. And the marriage narrative, since that's why we're here, is definitely available everywhere with a blend of romance, a blend of characters that will definitely resonate with you. I know I feel an even deeper connection to them now having talked to you. And of course, the reality TV, which promises to keep you entertained from start to finish.
Thank you so much. This was so lovely.
Thanks, Claire. Cheers.
Cheers, indeed.
Thanks so much for listening. The Narratives and Nightcaps podcast is a production of The Craft Co. with intro music created by Remington Haynes.
Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow at Narratives and Nightcaps on Instagram or visit our website, narrativesandnightcaps.com.
Sign up for our newsletter to always know what we're reading next, which authors are joining us on the show, and for extra bookish and beverage info.
Connect with our additional co-hosts, Jordan and Emily, as well.
You can find me on Instagram at Cozy Reads and Sips.
And you can find me on Instagram at books.bottles.
Cheers!
Cheers!